Hello and welcome to FPL Animate. My name is Oded. Gameweek 27 captaincy choice will be an interesting one. Should we go with the double game players or choose one with a single game but a better fixtures? It will be even more interesting because Mo Salah and Liverpool don't play this game week, so the captaincy choice is up for grabs. Odds are that we will see this game week the separate of the captaincy choice among a lot more players, and it can be a boost of rank for those who will choose the right one. So we start with Weghorst from Burnley, who will play back-to-back double games. In game week 27 they will face Palace away and then Leicester at home. This video made before Burnley game on game week 26 against Spurs in the States as well, so anything can happen with him in this game. Burnley will play at home against Spurs and after an impressive win over Brighton, one of the best defensive teams in the league. There is no reason why they won't keep the momentum at home against Spurs, who conceded 11 goals in the last 5 league games. Weghorst uses his size and strength to keep the ball and find those open spaces for others, and with his speed I don't see Spurs defense handle him too well. We can also say that about Palace defense, who've shown a lot of improvement over the last few games in defense, stretching Chelsea until the 89th minute, not giving Lukaku, who has the same size and power like Weghorst, to see much of the ball. But Burnley is in good momentum right now and still trying to escape the last place in the league, and this game is a key game for them to get the win. The only problem I can see with him is his minutes. Assume he will play against Spurs and he is fit, he probably will play the full 90 minutes. Depends on the score, of course. Spurs game come 4 days after the game against Brighton, and Palace game come after 3 days, so he can be a minute risk for the game against Palace. If he gets like 60 or 70 minutes against Spurs, so surely he will start against Palace as well. Just wait and see until the game ends how many minutes he will play, of course, and if he is fit after that game, so then you can decide to captain him minutes before the deadline. And of course, let's not forget the second game Burnley have this game week against Leicester at home. Leicester were able to keep only 3 clean sheets this season. The last meeting those two teams play against each other, they finished with 2-2 draw. Leicester still waiting for their key players on defense to return, and that will be only on next month. So for Weghorst, it can be a pretty good opportunity to get some returns against one of the worst defense teams in the league. Same goes for Cornet. It might be a more differential player to pick from the captaincy choice, mainly because of his form in recent games. In the 6 games since he returned from AFCON, he played 5 and scored only once. He was subbed in the 54 minutes against Brighton, so things not looking too good for him. There is a chance that he will start one of these games from the bench, but he is still the leading scorer and the most creative player in the team. And again, have to wait and see how the game against Spurs will develop. If you got him on your team and not Weghorst, it might be a risky move that can pay off. You still have better chance to play both games, and it is a double game week. If you don't have him or got both of these players, I'll go for Weghorst because he can be on penalties as well and seem better than Cornet right now. On the other hand, you got a lot of options for the captaincy choice for this game week. Most of them can name as a differential, but there are a few ones that I think most people will go with. The first one, of course, is Son. If he is fit and available and nothing out of the ordinary will happen in the game against Burnley on game week 26 and until the game against Leeds away, I would say that he will be the most picked player for this game week for the captaincy choice. After their heroic win against Manchester City away, I won't see them getting much resistance from Leeds away, from a team that have the second worst defense in the league right now. There's really nothing new to say about Son. We all know what he's capable of doing in the field. We all saw how deadly his connection between him and Harry Kane, and how fast Spurs offense attack and move after a lost ball. If Manchester United could score 4 against Leeds away, there is no reason why Spurs would do the same. Especially now that Son, Kane and Kulusevski look so good. Plus, as we always say and know, Son is on the set pieces as well. Corners and indirect kicks, so it's a fair debate of who to own for Spurs offense right now and who to captain this week if you got both players. I don't know if Spurs defense will hold Leeds, but Son still get an extra point for a goal. Kane on penalties, so it's always tough choice between those two. One of the other players people might be going is for Cancelo. He played especially well against Spurs and was so close to score a couple of times. Manchester City defense collapsed on that game, but I reckon it won't happen too many times in the future. Especially against Everton. Even with a few more attacking threats like Dele Alli and Van de Beek, they really struggled against Southampton in Gameweek 26. Calvert-Lewin looked like the shadow of himself, and the absence of the core in the middle really hurt Everton's effort to stop attacks through the middle. After the loss against Spurs, I imagine Manchester City will come to kill the game early and will attack with everything they got when Liverpool breathing too close behind. There are a lot of options in goal in Manchester City in this game. De Bruyne should be a sure thing to start and a captain as well. As for the others, as always, it's a risk because you don't know who is going to play. With Cancelo you will know. Manchester City next game will be in the FA Cup 3 days after the game against Everton. But against a team like Peterborough, a team that ranks second in the championship, he will probably rest. So it's easy to assume that Manchester City will go up against Everton with their best 11. Most chances they will keep a clean sheet, and the way Cancelo play against Spurs, it's not unlikely he will get an attacking return as well. And the final player who will be the differential player on my list is Ward-Prowse. Southampton will play Norwich at home. In the last meeting in Gameweek 12, Norwich won by 2-1. I got a feeling things will be different this time for Southampton, who look quite good in the win over Everton in Gameweek 26. Livramento is back, Broja still a big threat up front, and Che Adams getting returns now in almost every game. So it's tempted to go for one of Southampton players for a massive differential this week against the worst defense team in the league. But if you really consider this, Ward-Prowse seems like the logic pick. He only blanked 3 times in the last 9 games. He's on all the set pieces, and I can still remember his deadly crosses inside Spurs box in game 25, which led to 2 goals for Southampton. With his price and ownership, and with Southampton fixtures coming up ahead, you should consider bringing him in anyway for a cheap midfielder. To give him the captaincy, it's a bold move that could pay off massively. As for the other games, another option, most of them are differentials ones. Broja can be a good pick as I mentioned, Rafinha as well. Harry Kane will probably get a lot of picks, as well as Bruno Fernandes against Watford. In other games there is no one that appealing to risk the captaincy choice on him, maybe only Mahrez. If he is guaranteed to start, he could be a good choice as well, especially when he's on penalties. Maddison against Burnley could be a bold move, but I think beside Kane, Bruno and Mahrez, I will only go for the ones I talked about before. It will be a very open contest between a lot more players. No more Salah, no Arsenal or Chelsea players to pick from, so it will be interesting to see how the captaincy choice will be divided this game week. And that's about it. Thank you for watching this video. Do subscribe to my channel and give this video a big like. Goodbye for now and good luck to all.